Okay, so I've made a template that you can use for your color challenges. So you're going to download the color challenge PSD file, and then you're going to open up your Photoshop Elements and click on Expert Mode. This is Photoshop Elements 2019. If you have an earlier version, it might look a little different, but you should have basically the same functionalities. So I'm going to open and then navigate to where the color challenge PSD is. Okay, and so I'm looking at it at 68%, kind of clicking off of it. So it's not at 100%, it's a little small so that you can see everything going on. You don't, if you want to view it at 100%, you'd go to View and Actual Pixels. And then you might, for the purposes of this video, I kind of like to work in 100%. Okay. So then you know the words, that you could read everything. So we'll look at over here. When you open it up, you'll see that there are a number of layers in here. So you'll see 5 color swatches, 4 and 3. So what I've done is the little eyeball with a strike through means that this layer is hidden. So say I want to do this color challenge with 5 color swatches. I'm going to turn off that or turn on that, and then I'm going to make the 4 color swatches disappear, and then I'm going to click anywhere in here for this to then show up. Okay? And so I'm going to make the 5 color swatches disappear, and then I'm clicking on the eyeball of the 3, clicking inside, and now you see 3, which I think most color challenges are 3. So I'm going to show you how to customize this. So working with the 3, this is a folder with all of the layers that make up the color swatches. Okay, and then the next thing we have is this text layer here. That says color challenge, and that's where you would put your title. Now you can move it up here and move this down here. Okay, and I'm going to start by adding my logo at the top. So I'm going to click on any one of these layers here, not on any of the folders. And I'm going to click New Layer. So on this layer, I'm going to call it Logo Layer. Okay, and then I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Place, and I'm going to place my logo. So it places it in with an X around it. That means it's a smart object. And before I hit the check mark, I'm going to resize that. And then I want to center this. And okay, so I'm grabbing it and then my background is disappearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that background back where it belongs. Move that up a little bit. And I am going to lock this background. So with backgrounds highlighted, I'm going to click on the lock. If I want to unlock it, just click on the lock again. Okay, so now I want to center it, but I'm going to need to put some guides in here. So if you do not see a ruler up here, you're going to go to View and you're going to make sure rulers are checked simply by clicking on it. Okay, and I just turned it off. You can view your rulers right-clicking on it by pixels, inches, centimeters. I like percent because I don't have to count and do math as to where the midpoint is. That's the midpoint. That's the 50% mark. And when I turn them on, it might just be that you'll see that I already have guides in here. And I think that there already was a guide in the middle there. So you didn't need to do that. So View, making sure Guides is turned on, Rulers is turned on, and then 2 other things you're going to want to do is Snap to Guides and Grid. Make sure they're not checked. And again, just by selecting them, that's how you know. Just selecting them will toggle either on or off. So Now, you don't have to worry about these guides. They are not going to be seeable. What's really nice about this image here is, okay, it's hard to grab. These little boxes are the midpoint, okay? And so while this goes above, when you click on it, it goes above that top line, the actual image itself does not. So I've got this aligned with the top. I've got color challenge here. And if I want to change any of what's written there, I'm going to click on the text tool and insert here. I'm going to put it July 2019. Actually, I think I did 2018. It's kind of annoying that you can't see the change until you hit the check mark. And so I'm going to go back with the text tool here, and I'm going to select that all because it's way too big. And I'm going to bring this down from 60 point to maybe 30. And check that. Waiting. Oh, I gotta click on it again. Okay, that was too small. Let's do undo, edit, type layer. I'm gonna go back to text. I'm gonna select it. So at this point, I should probably mention that you can change the type, and you are constrained only by the number of typefaces that you have. You could change the color. So what did I do? That was too small. Let's do 48 and then hit check and then click on this and then subtitle, clicking on text again. This is all part of the same text layer, by the way. This header, subheader, July color challenge, submit yours by June 15th. Actually, I think I spelled something wrong. I find it annoying that I can't see, and I don't know if it's just me. So if it's a July color challenge, then maybe it needs to be by July something, by July 20th. I don't do color challenges, so okay. So every time you make a change, you have to hit that check mark, and then you have to click in here to see the change happen. So I have my header here, and then I'm going to go with dropping in the image. Now I have this replace layer here. What I'm going to do is show you how to fit something in a smart object. So I'm going to start by pulling in the image that I want to go in there, and that image will be in fact too large to fit in there. So we're going to resize it. The image that we're going to work with is the one that came from Stampin' Up. So right now on the main page of Stampin' Up is the annual catalog information, but happening now in current promotions will keep this catalog resource page online for the year. So scroll down, shareable catalog product images is a downloadable zip file that is really, really cool. And you're going to download that, and then I'm going to open a new, now I'm not dropping it in directly, I am opening it in a different window. I'm going to open up this image right here. Oh, maybe I want this one. Okay. And let's look at it, 28%. Well, first of all, I'm going to duplicate it, okay? And I'm going to call it X because I'm not saving it. I'm resizing it only to drop in here. I don't want to wreck the original. Okay. So I have Project X at 25%. If I looked at this at 100%, this would be huge. So let's look at the image, and we're going to resize this image. First thing we're going to do is turn off resample. Okay? We're going to bring resolution down to 72. And then this image here, let's click OK. We'll get back to it. So this image here, clicking on Color Challenge. We'll look at resize. We'll look at image size for this is 800 pixels across. Okay. So this, going back to this, I don't know what I did to this. So image size of this is, oh, that's why. We're going to make it 800 pixels wide. Okay? I'm going to click on it. Now we should see it change. Okay, great. So now I'm going to take this layer here and I'm going to pull it onto that layer. And actually, if this does not look like your screen, in the preferences, and you might have to do this in the preferences, and then you might have to turn Photoshop Elements off and turn it back on again. Under General Preferences, you're going to click on Allow Floating Documents in Expert Mode. That's how I'm able to have these all in their own tabs. Okay, so getting back to it, I'm going to, with this selected, I can see I have one layer here. I want to drag it onto here above, on top of this layer. So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to click on the shape layer. When you drag something on, it will always end up above the layer that is selected. So when I drag this in, it will show up above this shape layer. So this layer, I'm going to drag it onto here, and then I'm going to click. Okay. And so what I've done here is it's a clipping mask. It's inside of here, and I can move this around to anywhere. You can see the bounding box is still larger. You can see, you can actually even make this smaller. And all it means is you have this layer selected. And then you have to hit that check mark or you won't be able to do anything else. So this automatically became the clipping mask layer. And then this, I'm just going to turn off. This is an empty layer anyway, but honestly, you can just delete this layer. You don't need it anymore. So if you want to use this again, click on this, drag the next photo in, and it will create a clipping mask. You would have to, of course, delete this layer. Not delete, but you're going to have to turn off the seeing eyeball there and click in here to make it, disappear. So turn it on, and now you see it. How would you do this otherwise? You can, if you forget, you can make anything. Okay. So you could make any image fit inside, okay? Simply by undoing the layer mask. But here we go. Create clipping mask. We'll put that back inside. Okay, it puts it back inside that box. And again, you can, now say you want to change your mind on the shape of that box too. Click on the shape layer of that box, and by bringing this up, you can show more of that image. Okay, and then again, don't forget, you have to click the check mark here or you're not going to be able to leave that menu. Last thing is your 3-color challenge. So go to my 3 swatches here, and we have color 1 name, which are the words, and then the first color, which is the actual color. So we'll start with the words. This is a text layer, you can see the T, and I'm going to grab my text tool and I'm going to select color 1. And I'm going to get my cheat sheet here. My first color is Mossy Meadow. House is the noisiest house in the world. Mossy, enter, meadow, check mark. And then there you go. The color itself, we're going to see there is a little square here in the corner, and I'm going to double click on that little square in the corner, and I'm going to put in the hex code associated with Mellow Moss. I'm sorry, Mossy Meadow, 5C, 6B, 2B. Okay, and you can see the color has changed. Okay, so where did I get that from? In the new catalog resource page here, there is a color chart, and it is the hex codes for all of the colors. So you're going to want to download and keep those. That way, you really have the actual colors. So color 2, I'm going to go to color 2 name. I'm going to grab my text tool here, and it's Petal Pink. It kind of throws me off that I can't see it till I click somewhere in there. And then second color here, I'm grabbing that little box there and double clicking on it, FCCEB6. So now you can't really see the Petal Pink, so I'm going to grab that text tool again and grab the words. And here is where I'm going to change the color of the text to black. And then check mark. And now you can see Petal Pink. Color 3, name, select that layer, grab the text tool. Color 3 is going to be So Saffron. So, S-A-F-F-R-O-N. Now, I don't see it yet, but you will in a moment. I'm selecting it, and before I'm done here, I'm just going to change the color while it's selected, and then I'm going to hit my check mark. Now you can't see it because it's black, but I'm going to third color, choosing this layer, double clicking on the Smart Object icon. So Saffron is FFD-A8D. Clicking OK, and then I'm going to click, and there you go. You have your 3 colors. Maybe nudge this up with your arrow on your keyboard, nudge this down. Now I know it looks like it's overlapping, but that's simply the edges of the bounding box. And there you go. So next thing, or the last thing you're going to do, is you're going to make sure to save it. And this time I'm going to save it as July Color Challenge. And I'm going to save it as a PSD file. So this is now my master color challenge if I wanted to do this. This is my master color challenge template. And then I'm also going to export it for the web. So save for web. And I've saved it as a JPEG. Okay. And the quality for this, we want to try to save it. Let's try to save it at like 46. You can see it's a little bit jagged, but I have a feeling this is not, let's see, this is not bad. We're somewhere between 40 and 50, and some do 47, maybe 45 actually, or 44. 800 by 1400. When I drop this in, I'm not keeping it at 800. I'm going to actually pull it smaller so that it looks better. So you can see that this was originally 4.27 megabytes, and now it's 103 kilobytes. So that's, a megabyte is 1,000 kilobytes. So instead of 4,000 kilobytes or 4,200 kilobytes, it's 103 kilobytes. So I've got some savings there. So I'm going to save it here as July Color Challenge. Okay, and then I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to drop it into my article. Okay, so in my article here, I'm going to put my cursor here. I'm going to add media. I'm going to upload that file that I just did, July Color Challenge. And always fill in like alt text. And we have July 2019 Color Challenge. Now, if it was on my site, I would call it the You Stamp for Fun Color Challenge. And then I'm gonna, I don't want to center it. I want it to the left. I want it to wrap around. I like to put it in at full size and then drag it smaller. Okay. And smaller still. So now you see where it looks much clearer. So when you start it off larger, it ends up looking a lot clearer. And honestly, it doesn't need to be bigger than that. So let's preview this because this post is actually not. It's the color challenge template. Excellent. So this is the template. This is something I'm going to be posting later on today. I'd say my You Stand for Fun logo probably needs some work. That's the doctor not going to the doctor, right? So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I am going to make this available, obviously the way you first saw it, not the finished. If you have any questions, ask me in the group. Take care and happy blogging.